Good morning. In my last assembly, I spoke about books, and I mentioned that my grandfather had this humongous collection, and that he encouraged me to write a book, which I did. Let me tell you the story behind it. So one day, I showed my grandfather an article that I'd written. I wanted his thoughts on it before I published it, before I submitted it. And he liked it, and he turned around to me and he said, "Why don't you put them together in a book?" And I said, "But I wouldn't know where to start." Now, my grandfather very uncharacteristically said, "Look around at this collection of books. Where do you think I started? One book at a time." He said, "That's how you write a book. One page at a time." So that's what I did. One page at a time, and it turned out to be a book. For 3 years I worked for Aish in Israel. Ner Yeshiva and their offices are located in the wonderful old city of Jerusalem, overlooking the Kotel itself, the Western Wall. Honestly, the greatest place. But it's different to most other yeshivas, because people typically join there later on in life. I went to study in yeshiva straight after school, but the average age for the Aish students is far older. The main study hall in Aish doubles up as their shul. So people study there, their classes are there, and that's where they daven too. At the front of this room, there is this stunning ark, Aron HaKodesh, made of glass. It's a true work of art. It's raised about a metre from the ground, and there's a sculpture underneath it. A rather rough-looking stone, and on one side it's smoothed down, and there's these glass drops that look like water dripping down onto the rock. Next to the ark on the wall, there's a plaque explaining what this sculpture is all about, because this really serves as the inspiration for this Aish Yeshiva. You've all heard of the wonderful Rabbi Akiva, one of the greatest scholars of all time, considered by many to be second to Moshe himself. But Rabbi Akiva didn't exactly start off as this wise, great scholar. Not at all. At 40 years old, according to the Talmud, Akiva is an itinerant, ignorant shepherd who couldn't read or write Hebrew at all. And one day Akiva is sitting by the brook, and he notices this rock. A rough rock that had been worn away by tiny drops of water. And Akiva says to himself, "Wow, that is the power of determination and consistency." You can take barrels and barrels of water and pour it over a rock, and if you do it all in one go, it'll clean the rock, but it really won't penetrate. It really won't do anything to the rock. You take that same amount of water and you let it repeatedly drip, drop after drop, over the same place in the stone, and it will erode the rock, smoothing it down. And Akiva said to himself that if water can have that impact with such consistency, then maybe if I keep it up long enough, maybe something will get through to this hard skull of mine. And Akiva persevered and persevered. He worked hard until he became this greatest, most famous scholar. Now, I cannot think of any sculpture that's so simple yet so inspiring. Just think of one thing, one dream that you want to achieve, and allow yourself to achieve it, one small step at a time. Have a wonderful day.